But for those of you who are coming for the first time today, let me have the honor of introducing Swami Shivarchanananda Maharaj. He's the Assistant Minister at the St. Louis Vedanta Center. Swami Shivarchanananda, joined the Ramakrishna Order in 2001. After his training, he spent over 10 years in Jagannath, where he performed artistic worship and wrote journal articles. In 2017, he was transferred to Bangladesh, where he worked editing and publishing Vedanta-related books. He was subsequently appointed chief editor of Guru magazine, the Bengali journal of the Ramakrishna Order. He came to the United States in April of 2020, and he is here today. Great honor and privilege. So, and the topic for today is the profound value of service in our life.
Thank you, Swapnadi, for introducing me again. And so it's a really nice place. I also happy to. I heard a lot about this center when I was in India, and I like this place. And again, I hope to come here. So let us, with a prayer, let us start our discussion. Om Priyatang Pundarikakshang Sarvayajneshwaro Harihi Tasmin Tushte Jagat Tushtam Prinite Prinitam Jagat. May the Lord, the destroyer of sin, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied. It's a well-known verse, especially who is connected to ritualistic worship. They know this verse. Probably you know the incident of sage Durvasa in Mahabharata, when one day he suddenly arrived at Pandava's hermitage. The food for that day was finished. So Draupadi was in great trouble what to do. how to that please that this great sage Durvasa, who was famous for his short temper. She remembered, tried to pray to Sri Krishna, and Krishna came and asked that do have little bit of green in remaining in your plate or your that container or vessel of food. Yes. So he ate that much, little bit. And Durvasa, with all of his disciples, they felt their hunger was gone. They became satisfied. They felt our stomach is full now. Same thing happened again in Sri Ramakrishna's life also. Swami Abhedananda noted that incident when they were coming from Kolkata by boat, and it was midday, the time to have food, and they were young. They all felt that now we have to eat something. But what to do? And same condition happened to everyone. In that boat, apart from Sri Ramakrishna, other disciples, like the lady disciples, probably Yoginma, Golapma, somebody among them were present. And Sri Ramakrishna, just like a child, he felt that let us try to get something before going to, and in those days, you know, that that regular way of transportation was the river. So they get down in nearby ghat, and they looked for some shop where they can buy something. Probably Abhedanandaji was the youngest member of the team, so he looked for something and bought something, little bit, in a small paper packet. So he came and handed it over to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, again, that childlike nature. So he was so hungry, he that ate everything that was there in the packet. And at the end, he drank little Ganga water also. So then they felt, what is this? Without thinking about the disciples, and I am the youngest one, I bought. Sri Ramakrishna ate everything. But he was surprised that all their sense of hunger to eat something was gone. They felt, now I need not to eat anything. My stomach is full. So, this kind of thing that when I choose to that use this verse as a Mangalacharana, though those are the ideas that was going on my mind. Priyatam Pundari Kaksha Sarvayageshwaro Hari Tasmin Tushte Jagat Tushtam Prinite Pranitam Jagat. May the Lord, the destroyer of sin, Hari, the presiding deity of all sacred activities. Whenever good activity, we try to do something good. Who provide us the inspiration to do that? Sarvayageshwaro Hari. Be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied. But it was a one-way traffic. India, especially in India, probably throughout the world, it happened again and again. To please the God, we overlooked his children. Swamiji wrote, if the children of Shiva are in distress, how can Shiva become happy? He reminded us. So now we have to see in a different angle the whole thing, our spiritual life, our family life. So today the discussion, the topic of discussion is the profound value of service in our lives. So we have already told it has a profound value. So we'll discuss from various angle and from the various stories, incidents from these great people, disciples of Sri Ramakrishna mainly, and from others also. Service, the attitude to serve others, is not a simple thing, as it appears. Though it may sound like that, it is like a precious jewel that only a few lucky people have in their casket of heart. Not everybody loves to serve any others. It's a jewel. Those who have this attitude know how precious it is. It makes one's life meaningful, not only in a superficial way, but it's a blessing to lead a joyful life. In our little experience, we have seen the people who loves to, any person who loves to serve other is with a gloomy face. A smile, a joyful element I saw in their character, in their life. Especially in our monasteries, in Belur Math, many monks are there. In our training center, we remember many brahmacharis were there. You will find in every batch. After finishing their duties, they would love to serve others. Many times it happened in those days. Sunday, still now I think, the Sunday is the day for cleaning your clothes, whatever your dhoti, shirt, everything. So many times we have seen then in Sunday, maybe the Saturday night, you would keep all those dirty clothes in a big, what you call your, whatever that container they provide. So morning we would see that it was not there. Somebody stole that. And in the evening, I found in front of my my room door, that door of my room, in the string, it is hanging. Somebody cleaned that and put in the sun. So still, it is a. I was thinking, we have seen same thing in Boranagar Monastery, Alambazar Monastery. There was a competition who can do maximum work of the ashrama of the center. So one side, when we read about Alambazar, Boranagar, so it is interesting to mark their nature. They were competing with each other in japa and dhyana. At the same time, they are competing with other brothers in who can serve most. Sharat Maharaj. So he made a remark in those days. Both, you have to remember, they were young. So suddenly they found at night when they are lying, some sound is coming out. Tuck, 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 some sound. When in those days, it was quiet environment. It is not the modern day Kolkata. Hardly you could hear the horn from the vehicles or traffic sounds. So everything calm and quiet. But at night, tuck, 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 what is that? So he made a sound, then it was stopped. Again, next day, same thing happening. The sound, making some noise, what's happening? Maybe, that mouse, something kind of. Third day, he was ready. What was we'll find out the culprit who is doing. So suddenly, they kept a lantern or lamp, they light it up, and found Latu Maharaj when everyone was sleeping. Up to that point, he was pretending, I am also feeling sleepy. When everyone used to get to sleep, he would woke up, sit, and started doing japa. So Sharat Maharaj telling, okay, that was your trick. I'll do something better. So in a funny way, nice way. That's a nice way to to practice, motivate yourself to do good things. No, like sometimes you have to handle your mind with different ways. Sometimes like the chastising, like a mother or father, you have to do. Otherwise, I will not provide you food. Nag Mahasaya. oh my body, you are working like an obstacle, like an enemy in my spiritual life. I will not provide you food. Okay, sometimes like a sporting way, like this. Huh? Okay, he's doing like that. I will sit for longer time. At the same time, we see in the service also. Abhedanandaji, when Sharadanandaji passed away 1927, Abhedananda is still alive. He came to see him, and with a tearful eyes, he was talking about those olden days when Abhedananda in 1890 some point, 96, I don't know, 94, 93, that I forgot. So that time. So some kind of infection was occurred in his feet, probably ringworm, I forgot that what was the exact problem. So for months he was lying in the bed. And this Sharadanandaji, like a mother, he treated him. And thinking he was, out of tearful eyes, he was bidding the farewell to his brother. So this lovely incident, we think about, spiritual life is, and previous, all the last 3 lectures, we talk on meditation. Meditation is a consequence of many actions. It is not that sitting and you will absorb in meditation. You need many support, many good things when you practice. It all together, they will come to help you. So in your spiritual life, you need to take care of everything, exercise everything. We live in a society where we have to live with other fellow human beings. So let us come out from a little bit of monastery. We talk with them. What happened in your regular life? We discuss with them, with you, with anybody who is coming. We're talking with each other. We work with them, and all of these actions we want to do smoothly. How to run the center smoothly. How to work our workplace smoothly. Everyone wants that. Sometimes, to make all the situations favorable to us, we try to dominate somebody. We try to impose our likes and dislikes on others. Even sometimes we play tricks on others, and thus at the end of the day we want to see us on victory stand. There are many lectures are there. Sometimes nowadays, this podcast era, everyone is giving lecture without having proper experience even. 22, I know that nothing in his age. If you're 22, 25, it's nothing to say something good thing. But you can see the lack of experience. And sometimes people try to follow that. But with experience, we understood at seeing these great people, it is not in trick. It is that simple, how mother handled a village woman, illiterate, how handled that whole Sangha, this order. She was writing letter, not literally. She was dictating letters, send it to Abhedananda, who is working in United States. Some brothers, they are saying, Mother, you have to intervene now. Mother wrote and gave clear-cut instruction. And they follow. But alas, many times we see when we are alone, our heart says, what you have done. In our, especially workplace, we are not talking about especially in our centers. Here, more or less, we are good people. But in a workplace, when you are working with your colleagues, we try to do many tricks. But hardly when you return in your home, you feel you have to stand in face to face with yourself. Then you sometimes repent. What I have done, it was not good. I was so mean. So this is important, facing yourself, ourselves. Okay. So I remember now a few months ago, maybe a year ago, so we are talking about some podcast. It was an old interview, a clip of an old interview with Joseph Campbell, what was that interview was conducted by another famous person, Bill D. Moyers, where I'm saying you can search in internet. Joseph Campbell, he was talking about some different topic like virgin birth. What is the philosophical meaning of virgin birth of Jesus? So in that discussion, he was talking about the Indian thought about our that 7 chakras, that Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipur. You know that, the Anahata, it goes on that in Indian philosophical thing. So he was saying that when you see, it is echo of our thought, that what Sri Ramakrishna also told. সবসময় মন রয়েছে লিঙ্গ গুহ্য নাভিতে. The lower 3 chakras, our mind is there. For common people, for normal people, that we call normal. So he was saying the same thing, that according to Campbell, when human consciousness starts its journey from the lowest chakras and reaches the heart, then the true birth of human being takes place. The lower 3 chakras, Muladhara, Manipura, and Swadhisthana, are located in the pelvic basin and represent basically animal instincts. You see, where Sri Ramakrishna or our thought, he was supporting the same thing. When our mind, we are in animal state, with our animal instincts. Man's thoughts then focused only to food consumption, the urge for procreation, and aggression, that is smashing others. When the center of consciousness first reaches the heart, thoughts for others are transmitted in that organism. First, thinking about others. Compassion is born, and it can be said that man is spiritually born. So when your mind started playing or staying mostly in your heart, then we can say a real man is born, not before that. So we talk about evolution. So about our physical evolution, mostly what we read in our lower classes, when class 8, 9, 11, 12, like that. But after that, we talk about psychosocial evolution. There are many kinds of evolution. And we have different layers of existence. Physical existence, mental existence. So evolution must come in our physical level also, in our mental or moral, ethical level also, and then spiritual evolution. So what is meant by psychological evolution? In a self-centered man, as in all animals, the psyche or mind or soul is limited and confined to the physical organism. In a moral man, it expands, goes beyond the barriers of his physical organism, and is entered into by other psyches of the social environment. Your mind enters into territory of others' mind. And others' mind also enters your territory, your mental territory. They started entering. This registers the beginnings of the manifestation of the spiritual man lying behind the man. Of his higher self behind his lower self, all ethical theories presupposes this distinction between a higher self and a lower self in a man, and the liberation of his higher self is what man achieves through ethical endeavor. It is the renunciation of the lower self and manifestation of the higher self that we discussed in our last lectures. What really renunciation means? It is that renunciation of the lower self and embracing the higher self. That's all. Physical growth we understand, intellectual growth also we can understand, but what is other growth, the moral and spiritual growth of man? It is something subtle yet real and more significant than the other two. Moral awareness, with its capacity for love and service, is the direct fruit of this spiritual growth. When we talk about spiritual growth, how we understand? We have to look at our capacity to love others. So, Swami Vivekananda once wrote that it is only in fortunate people empathy comes or sympathy comes. They are fortunate people. When you have the ability to think about others, you know you are the rarest kind of people. You are among the rarest kind of peoples. Without this growth, man's body becomes the prison of his self. With this growth, it becomes the finest instrument of human evolution, of man's journey to fulfillment. With the evolution of the higher brain in man, organic or physical evolution has ceased to have any further relevance so far as man is concerned. Just think about our form, the physical form. So nothing, we read about how the neck of the giraffe became so longer. We read all those things. But about human being, now we do not discuss. So all of us have two hands like that, almost same. So if you want to talk about evolution, we have to talk about your moral evolution, and or ethical evolution, how it happened. Evolution has become self-conscious in man with his whole host of new capacities like reason, imagination, memory, and will. If organic evolution is irrelevant at the level of man, and if evolution still continues in him, it has to be sought beyond the organic or physical level. With time, what happened? When we grow older, what happened? We gain in knowledge. We have more experience. 10 years before you, and now you are not same. What you gain? Think about that. We gain some knowledge. We become more alert. A little boy, little kid. So he or she does not have any care about where is fire or electricity is there. Electric wire is open. But with your experience, alertness has come. So just think about that. You are now become more careful about your environment, with the people, with the circumstances. So in alertness. And last one, in self-confidence. The first day, maybe that when you entered in your college, that your confidence was, self-confidence level was much in a lower level. I entered, I put my first step inside this college. What I will do? Or maybe when you first came in this country, or in your workplace. So what you gain now? You are now self-confident, more confident. A human being then develops a sense of his individuality, where I am different from my friend, my neighbor. And this continue until he becomes maybe an intellectual giant or a giant of will. Beautiful kind of thought. So with time, we become a intellectual giant, or in another word, a giant of will. Now, when you gain that self-confidence, you exercise your willpower more efficiently. Is it not? What does self-confidence means? Willpower. Now, I know the everything of the mystery of my workplace. I can exercise that. I can finish that. I can do that. Okay. This is the mental growth of man, which we ensure through appropriate mental nourishment, through education, institutional and non-institutional. In our career, we learn something from our institution, formal training. But informal training you got from your environment. This third growth, most vital and significant, but least recognized, without which the other two will prove his undoing, without which his search for fulfillment will result in unfulfillment and defeat. So our environment also our learning ground, testing ground also. Our social environment. We are talking about our service means we have different kind of relationships. No, what we want to figure out is that with a serviceful attitude, you can get success. With means the probability will be more. If you with a when you work in your workplace with a serviceful attitude, you will gain the success. And not only workplace, in your family also will come in that point. Or about testing down means you know whether when you are getting success, just maybe is running, maybe in the center, maybe. When you are getting success, what you understand, what you know. Now you are getting some success in your spiritual life also. There are two things. One is bhava, another is kriya. Bhava we cannot understand. Means when you are hungry, a little boy, think about a little boy or girl, when he and she is hungry. So how the mother understand? From his kriya, from his action. Is it not so? Walking like the making sound, dhap, 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 he's walking like that. And you are providing something, toy, he's throwing. So then mother understand that, okay, something is wrong. I have to provide food, or he or she need now sleep. So bhav and kriya, they are both connected. So that's why I'm saying kriya in action level, when you are mixing with people and you are getting success, in opposite direction, you can think that way, your bhava also is okay. You know, if bhava is not okay, kriya would be wrong. You will take more and more wrong decisions. I hope you get it. One is the subtle thing. Another is a gross thing. Kriya is in gross thing. What you are doing around with people around you and work that you are doing now. Now, something interesting. Where is the problem? Man lives in two environments. Just let us think a little deeper. One is natural, another is social. Talking about a little bit of this kind of philosophy, we'll enter some example. So we live in generally in two environments. One is natural, another is social. Natural means what? We see the trees around us, the mountain around us, that rain, it was raining. So it is natural environment. And another environment is social environment. When you are surrounded by some people, some human being. But in natural environment, what happened? We treat it as object. This morning we are talking about that, about our flower garden. We treat it that the soil, we dig it out 1 feet and 2 feet from the upper layer and put there some good soil that will help to grow the plants. We provide some kind of fertilizer even. We can water there. So why? Because it will serve my purpose. I may get flowers out of that and I'll put these flowers in the altar. Or maybe, forget about that, if I am a gardener, just pure love of flower, I can do that. So what is the purpose of that flower? To serve me. It will serve elements for my happiness. No, beautiful fragrance will come. So for natural environment, we are the subject and they are the object. Now, in the lower kind of human being, we call he is immature. What does immaturity means? Means he's still handling the social environment with that previous attitude. I am the subject, all those people here, I will use them for my purpose, for my happiness, for my profit. No? Do you understand what I'm saying? That again, he used in social environment also that subject-object attitude. In workplace, you are that day, do you remember where? Here also, we are talking about another Swami, that Swami Prathamananda ji, and we were discussing Priti Maharaj, Itanagar founder secretary, and he passed away in 2004 or 5 like that. But we heard many stories how about his way of work. He never treated his subordinates like a subject-object attitude. Let us work together for a common cause. Try to understand what you need. So when you understand, try to understand, in our colleagues, they are also human beings like me, and that our plant or maybe the soil, they do not have any kind of purpose for of its own. But this individual human being, they have also their purpose. They have their dream also. So when you try to understand that, we call it maturity. And at least every one of us, they also understand this person also, he is trying to understand me. That much is enough. Now, so about the human beings, it is this question and man's answer to it that constitute the challenging problem of interhuman relationships. Man's adequate response to this challenge raises his life from the organic to the physical, to the ethical and the spiritual levels. That is the journey. When your answer towards this challenge, when you mix, there's a challenge. No, it's a workplace challenge. Your answer it depends upon, it will help you in your journey from the organic level to the like amoeba kind of level. Then he is a human being. Then human being evolution into a mental evolution, then ethical evolution, then spiritual evolution. Okay. So let us talk about society. Swamiji was a great student of history. When we think about Swami Ranganathananda ji, he used to talk a lot about many of his lectures. You will find he took some instances from history. We have to learn from history. So about Roman Empire, what happened to Roman Empire? When it was in its peak, everything was okay. Affluence in the society, you are getting taxes from different provinces, and excellent, maybe some kind of that senators were there, freedom was there, democracy was there. But what was missing? So, in education, which only quickens our intellectual and sharpens our animal appetites, but does not help to develop a moral will, is harmful to man and society. If you think education means it will quicken our ability of understanding something, it will only provide to sharpen our intellect. If you think that is the only goal of education, you are missing something. And Roman, they missed that one. They forget about our inner, that spiritual urge. They ignore that one. At that point, that is the problem with that when you have affluence. That we discussed in our yesterday evening, the discussion. And who are not, they're just saying there's a beautiful article that is Hindu Dharma and Sri Ramakrishna, mostly in Bengali original, but translation also you can read. How the Aryan race, or maybe the ancient Indians, they succumbed before the foreign invasion. So we have discussed it a little bit. How that the way of your urge means that renunciation is important. Renunciation, don't take again and don't. It is not nothing to fear. It is not about only ochre cloth. We are again and talking. Renunciation means just leaving your lower self and embracing there is something higher. That journey that we call that Upanishad Charaiveti. Don't stop. Walk. That is the same thing. Renunciation. I will not be satisfied standing here. I have to continue my journey, walk. Daily something new I am learning. So it is all about renunciation. Renunciation means the lower self, journey to the higher self. That's all. So many civilizations have perished for this very reason. The subtle reasons behind the decline of Roman Empire, if you study, we can see it was not a military failure. It was the corruption in the human moral spine, the selfishness, the play of this little lower self. Swamiji noticed that. In your famous Lahore lecture, it's a great lecture. So he uttered these words. He wanted to, that's Swamiji, if you think he is only a monk, you are missing a great deal. He's a visionary. That's why we talk about so much. Everyone can learn. So when he's saying something, he was thinking about the whole race, not on a particular means. They're thinking about how that the psyche of Indian people, not about only some selected religion. So he noticed and told, you may take thousands of societies, 20,000 political assemblages, 50,000 institutions. This will be of no use until there is that sympathy, that love, that heart that thinks for all. Where is the heart here to build upon? No sooner do we start a little joint stock company, he was a little disappointed, little joint stock company, then we try to cheat each other and the whole thing comes down with a crash. Therefore, young men, raise once more that mighty of vision of non-separateness. That this is the ignorance. We are not separate. That remove that idea of separateness. Have the vision of non-separateness. Think as a whole. That, this is called expansion of yourself. When that's why family life also, we call ashrama, grihastha ashrama. Why? Because it will teach you, when you are individual, you think about only yourself. My pain, my profit, my joy. But at least when you become a family man, you're bound to think about 2 people, 3 people, or 4 people. So it is a process of, again, it is a journey from lower self to higher self. Again, now apply in social level. You are thinking about you. No, think about the society. Don't stop there. Think about country. Don't stop there. For on no other ground can you have the wonderful love until you see that the same Lord is present everywhere. Now let us enter in our spiritual basis of that. Unfurl that banner of love. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. You see, we uttered this one many times in many banner. And beneath Swamiji's photo, arise. You see the context? When he is using that one, arise, arise once more, for nothing can be done without renunciation. If you want to help others, your little self must go. Simple. We cannot talk something on this issue without saying something about Swami Akhandananda. Swami Akhandananda was the pioneer of our relief work. Before that, many things happened. In Boranagar Monastery, they didn't have much food even. But these people that you have to carefully have to read. If they found is to find any people they are suffering in the streets, they would treat them. Even Deoghar, it happened. Swamiji was a guest of a gentleman. He was a guest itself. So, somebody sick in the streets. Nobody was there to take care of that person. So he, along with somebody else, they carried him in that house. And they are feeling there is a lot of hesitation. I am a guest, it is not my house. So what my host will think? But the host became so happy. What he heard of Vivekananda, so it was true. No one could stop Vivekananda to help others. Nature. So Akhandanandaji, and probably you know, not a little bit, many of you, that how that orphanage was started in Sargachi, Murshidabad. It happened. A famine took place. And this Akhandanandaji, he was a lover of Himalayas. And when this other brother disciples were assembled in Boranagar Monastery, he was going towards Tibet, Himalaya, many times. He had a lot of experience there. He once again wanted to go again. So before that, he wanted to visit some holy places in West Bengal, like Navadvip, the place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in both the sides of Ganga, there were many places. So he wanted to see that. But on that course, when he was entering that particular place near Shargachi, I forgot that, Bhabda, the name of the village, Mohula, that was the name, yeah. So when suddenly, let me read from there, he wrote, okay. In the villages, he saw emaciated cattle and their herdsmen. At night, he slept in a shop at Datpur village. He had no idea what's happening in the village. At the night, he was sleeping just like it happened. A mendicant monk, a wandering monk. So, at night, he slept in a shop at Datpur village, which belonged to the local ruler, probably Jamindar. Swami reminisced, early on morning, I washed my hands and feet in the Ganges and was approaching the bazaar when I disclosed a Muslim girl of about 14, clad in dirty rags, weeping bitterly. She held at her waist an earthen pitcher, the bottom of which had given away. When the weeping with that broken pitcher and with the dirty the cloth. So what happened, ma? When the Swami inquired, she said, Baba, there is famine. Here in English, the father is there, but Baba, you understand, no? Baba, something with love, respect, we call. There is famine, and we have nothing at home to eat. At home, we have only this pitcher for carrying water and 2 earthen cooking pots. There is no second vessel to carry water. My mother will beat me. So I am crying out of fear. Akhandananda happened to have 4 annas in his pocket. He took the girl to a shop and bought a pitcher for her as well as some puffed rice. Before he got his balance of 3 annas from the shopkeeper, he was encircled by a dozen children crying for food. He bought more puffed rice with the remaining coins and distributed it among the hungry children. At night, he decided to leave that place as soon as possible. Because heart was there, but no money. What I can do? I cannot see. After all, they are son of Sri Ramakrishna. So I will leave in the early morning. Because he felt completely helpless and unable to relieve the poor. As he was leaving the village in the morning, a middle-aged woman approached him, saying, Baba, Father, Gaya Vaishnavi, an old woman, is dying. Please do something for her. Probably she already noticed. Everyone noticed what he did with these Puranas. The Swami expressed his inability to do anything. So she is dying, what she will do? And woman, what a monk can do? But later relented at her insistence. He told, if you do not look after her, nobody is there. She will simply die. He went to see this old woman who was suffering from diarrhea and covered in filth. To save her life, the Swami rushed to the landlord of the village and arranged daily food for her. First thing, he needed food. So he went to Zamindar. He even begged a piece of cloth from a clerk for that woman. The old woman expressed her gratitude with tearful eyes. What she told? Baba, you must have been my son in my previous life. Akhandananda immediately replied without any hesitation, why your previous life? I am your son in this life. That was Akhandanandaji. Then he started that the orphanage slowly. He found after that, after the famine, many people died. So many also children who didn't have any parent who will look after them. So automatically it was started, orphanage. Now, last night only, I was thinking about a letter. Letters. From the letter, let me read out something. It was written to Pramodadas Mitra. I never read out this letter before, but I loved this one. The heart of a monk, the heart of Akhandanandaji, you can see. He was, today, we started a little later, I will take a little more time. Huh? Okay. So, so to understand Akhandanandaji a little bit, he was a strict brahmachari kind of person, born in a Brahmin family. Gangadhar Gangopadhyay or Ghatak, that was his name. Gangopadhyay is a family. Then Ghatak, that title, his father got. Anyhow, so he just read about his that earlier life when he came to see Ramakrishna. What they saw, this Gangadhar, a teenage boy, after the sacred thread ceremony, Janu, after that, you have to follow some strict routines, generally. So he was following everything vividly. Brahmachari, traditional way, orthodox way. I will not use oil in my hair. No. 3 times taking bath in Ganga. And while taking the Ganga bath, doing pranayama. So he would say, I would dip in the Ganges water and hold some stone or thing to keep myself drawn, practicing kumbhaka. And Havishanna is to cook himself. So when he came to Sri Ramakrishna told that he told, stay here. He understood. He is among his that inner circle, antaranga bhakta. He belonged to this place. So slowly, what was extra, just like a expert sculptor, what he does, a sculptor, he choose a stone. It must be of good quality, that much. Then he visualized something in the stone. And what he does, he removed the extra thing from the stone. No? So this is a good teacher whatever is extra, that to remove, nothing else. Extra part. Because, okay. So he started his training. He told that, stay here. He was not ready, because if he would stay there, he had to take prasad of Mother Kali. And being a Havishanna, that follower of the stick, Mahakali Prasad, many things may be there. Who cooked? Who knows? But he was very gentle. He stayed there. Next day, he was thinking that I will not take prasad at Mahakali's temple. I will take prasad of Vishnu temple. but Sri Ramakrishna watching, he told, prasad of Mother Kali, Mahahavishanna. Why you are thinking about food? Prasad and food is not same. No, you see how to give a direction. So prasad is Mahahavishanna. Eat that. He returned and he gave pan, betel leaves. So, no, I'm brahmachari. This is even luxury for me, having chewing pan. So he told, you see, eat this, otherwise there will be foul smell in your mouth. How? You see, that's why it's not about luxury. And then go Kolkata and meet Noren. Then what he told? Noren, daily, he eats 100 betel leaves. Just saying. একদিনে 100টা পান খায়, কিন্তু চতুর্দিক নারায়ণ দেখে। Whenever Naren opened his eyes, he did not see any human being. He see only Narayana. That is the spiritual life. So it's not about the thing. What is the result? Because then he just connected with Akhandanandaji, with Naren. He used to tell Sri Ramakrishna that expert মানে গিন্নি, যে ওস্তাদ গিন্নি জানে, গিন্নি means that lady of the family, the master of the family, তো গিন্নি জানে কোন হাড়ির মুখে কোন সরাটি বসে. One is pitcher and another is lead. Think about that old that Indian culture. Which size of lead will fit with which pitcher? He knows, she knows. So he that made that connection with Noren and Akhandanandaji, and it went on whole life. A beautiful description. So Akhandanandaji, now let us come here now. Now you can understand he was he's a great scholar, but from seeing him you couldn't understand. He was very much, what do you think? Just digging out the soil for the cultivation at Sargachi, because where from that food will come? You have to give food to this orphan boy. You took that responsibility. So once he was visiting Kolkata, Nafar Chandra Kole, a different story. Afterwards, I can say. So he was a common human being. Common. He was passing in the road of Kolkata. Suddenly he found that one little boy was fall on a manhole. He jumped inside it, and in trying to save the kid, he died. So the citizens of Kolkata afterwards, they organized a memorial for him. Nafar Chandra. Sorry, no, I'm wrong. I forgot the name. Nafar Chandra was a different person. So I forgot his name. Sorry, that person. Maybe that's Nafar Chandra Kundu. Sorry, now remember. Nafar Chandra Kole was, the name is associated with mother's life. He used to live in Kualpara. He's Nafar Chandra Kundu. So in that memorial, that function, they invited Ramakrishna monks also. Our Akhandanandaji went there. Even his direct disciples never knew his command over in traditional Vedic scripture. So from the Shukla Yajurveda Samhita, he quoted. You see, everywhere, especially in this country, they talk about only the drawbacks of your, even misunderstand your scripture from the Shastras, and they took, you see, in our scriptures, they are, backdated, all those things. He quoted out Shukla Yajurveda Samhita. So, and he found in Putreshti Yajna, Dasharatha did that. Putri Yajna. And that we are talking about the heart of Shastra, Marmartha and Shastrartha. Literal meaning, what your word is suggesting. But the expert, a man a real seeker, he can understand the heart of Shastra. So he pointed out how the Rishi was sitting like a Purohita, doing the worshipper sat in the Putrishti Yajna, started with simple prayer. And it turned into a prayer for the whole country. He started that Amar Jajomaner Bir Putra Labhok, that everyone we does. Let my Yajamana, for whom I am sitting in front of this sacred fire, so let he have that son of heroic valor, Bir Putra, valor. Then she started praying for the society, for country. Let everything go well. Very beautiful, very beautiful. So when it ended, Sharatma told, Bhai, tomake jete debo na. Now we will not allow you to go to the remote village. You come here. Many young boys are joining in our monastery. You have to teach them Veda. No. This is a different story. Different story. This kind of thing. So let us read something. This is the background. Now, when he started in the orphanage, traditional schools like Pramoda Das Mitra, a traditional Pandit of Kashi, he was very close to these disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. And we have very many misunderstanding about him also. Many times, even many learned people among us, they criticize Pramoda Das Mitra, saying he was that narrow-minded, he was like that. And there are many letters you will find that with Swami Vivekananda even. And in there, Swamiji little bit, Pramoda Das Mitra was much older than these people. Think about that. And he was a well-known figure in Kashi. So in those days, where nobody was there, they from Bhavanagar monastery, they used to say, please send this book, that book. He used to send all those things. So there we can see the clash between orthodox, traditional, our so-called idea of Sanatana Dharma, and this new wave. So it was not Pramoda Das Mitra's fault. For us, we are fortunate to have Pramoda Das Mitra. He picked out that questions, and Swamiji gave answers. Sometimes Swamiji, and later it is not possible, you need a face-to-face discussion. Then at some time, after 93, 94, we do not get much letters, that writing letters with Swami Vivekananda, but with Akhandananda it continued. So we say, you see, they fought with each other. I must say that our confusion also. So Pramoda Das Mitra said they separated from our movement. No, never happened. So unless, just think about it. These are young boys of 20, 30s. He was 50, 60s age. Well-known person. And who then means these letters, Akhandananda wrote to Pramoda Das Mitra, Swamiji wrote to Pramoda Das Mitra. He preserved all those things. Just use common sense. He only provided these letters to publish afterwards. If they become that, that like have any bad feeling about them, would he preserve those things? If I wrote with rude temperament, if I write a letter, what you will do? You will throw it in the dustbin. No, you will keep it for the next generation. So many things. It is just one point. Many points are there. Anyhow, I wish to discuss many other things. Let me read the summary of that. I cannot read it all out. Time is not there. So in that letter, he told Akhandanandaji, you are a Hindu monk. You're supposed to go in a secluded place and do your sadhana in the Himalaya. And you are doing all this. What you are doing now? Same story. In Konkal Sevasam, same story. Bhangi Sadhu. So what you are doing? Then in response to that, he, with a emotional mood, Akhanandaji, just a young boy then, in 1898, in October, you can check this, 19th October 1898. He wrote, I have received your letter. However, I have been very busy for the past few days, and thus I could not reply to your kind letter in time. Please forgive me for the delay. You have reminded me of an earlier conversation, and remembering it has filled my heart with joy. Ah, those were the days. The time is gone now, and this is a new day. The soul of man does not change, but human life certainly does. Thank you. You reminded me of our duties. I no longer find pleasure in traveling across the country. When I first journeyed to the Himalayas, I was a completely different person. Now, when I look at myself, I am amazed by the change. Back then, even seeing people in the Himalayas would cause me annoyance. Just traditional. Arati jana sangsadi, Gita also. Avoid where is where is assembly of human being. Avoiding. Back then, even seeing people in the Himalayas would cause me annoyance, and I would leave the villages nestled in the hills to live in solitude, far away amidst the remote, wild, and dangerous mountain peaks. I preferred to be alone, away from human society. I spent several years living in such deep seclusion, and I have experienced what that path has to offer. I know. But now I see things very differently. The very person who once wandered the mighty mountain ranges of the Himalayas, wishing to abandon all human contact, the same I now sees God Himself in humanity. I have come to realize that serving mankind is nothing less than serving God. It feels as if God whispers into my ears, "O dear one, these very human beings are the seers of the Vedic mantras." Those rishis were human beings. These are the rishis, the incarnations like Rama and Krishna. These are everything. They took human form to save the mankind. So this human being, this human birth is valuable. It is during the peak of humanity's moral and spiritual upliftment that we witness such divine incarnations among men. And when society falls into decline, it becomes our sacred duty to dedicate even our very lives for its rise and betterment. Now, as for the questions you have asked, it goes on now. So, you monk, you have to think about money. Huh? The brother wrote, you see what you have done. You think of money, he answered. Now, as for the questions you have asked, I must say, since I took up a life devoted to the welfare of others, I have never had to worry about much money. Instead, most of my time has been absorbed in thoughts of God, and I continue to live in that way. That is the difference. We remember in one of our poor center, there was any devotee. Electric bill came. And that center didn't have much fund to pay even electric bill at that point. It was a very rare moment. So he placed that electric bill in front of Sri Ramakrishna. And something happened. Kualpara, same thing. So the way we deal is quite different. A Atma Gyani, a knower of Brahman, how he handles all is quite different with you. So it goes on. It goes on. Let the God. Service to living beings polishes the inner virtues of Shama, Dama, etc., self-control and tranquility. In Bengal, it's beautiful. Samadhi ইত্যাদি অলঙ্কার ইত্যাদি ভূষণ আর উজ্জ্বল হয়ে ওঠে যখন তুমি কাউকে সার্ভ করো. When you serve somebody, the Vedanta talks about Shama, Dama, Uparati. They are like ornaments, bhushan. It becomes shining when you serve people thinking he or she is God. Very insights are there. So that's all. I do not want to continue. So, in our family life, it, it can serve us and it can give a different turn in the life of Sri Ramakrishna and his disciples. It's a gift. Again, and we were talking with a young boy yesterday. You read everything, Upanishad, Yoga, Brahma, whatever, but don't forget to keep a close contact with these lives of these great people. It's a gift. We are fortunate to have this information. It will, you will see the real meaning of Upanishad here. So, with this incident, very touching incident, Bhakta Manamohan Mitra. Manamohan Mitra was so I talked about your that monks. So it is that our regular people, they can practice, and how they can practice. So it is touching, little sad also, but see the spirit. Bhakta Manamohan had that eldest daughter, Manik Prabha, suddenly fell ill. So his biographer, Khagendranath Sen, wrote that incident. He saw very closely. And Ramchandra Datta and Manamohan Mitra both are very close. And they were the first people who used to, he didn't like that much in the beginning, starting a monastery, all those things. So they also a lot of followers. So Khagendranath Sen also, they're a follower of them. So he wrote their biography. He wrote, Manamohan made all possible arrangements for the treatment of his daughter. With one-pointed devotion, he engaged himself to save the girl. In those days, with the kind of hard work and perseverance, he took care of his daughter with his own hands. So, we felt that if he could not bring her back to health at this time, then maybe he would go mad due to her grief. The condition was really bad. But they learned to serve the family member, not as a family member, but that embodiment of the God himself. Sri Ramakrishna many times, Ami o amar, agyan. When you are thinking, this is my mind, this is agyan. Hey Prabhu, ye tomar. Oh Lord, this is belong to you. So we have seen. So if he would think my daughter, maybe there maybe lack in effort. He was a devotee, but she is belong to you. So I have to try my best, go beyond my capacity. So seeing his eagerness to treat that daughter, others became frightful. What will happen? So he told, then maybe he would go mad. Despite tireless efforts and careful nursing, when he realized that there was no hope for his daughter's life, he removed the ice bag with his own hands. Asked the relative, a lady who was standing nearby, to bring a picture of Sri Ramakrishna, and called the girl firmly and said, Ma, again that father. Mother is translation, but sometimes out of love you call your daughter Ma. So Ma, I have brought this picture of Thakur. Take a good look, remember Thakur. You have seen in your childhood Sri Ramakrishna. Fear not, my daughter. Thakur is with you. Please don't cry. No tears to be shed at this time, he said, and wiped her tears with his own hand. The dying girl, comforted by her father's words, kept staring at Thakur's picture. Manamohan brought his face close to her ear and started chanting, Jai Ramakrishna, Jai Ramakrishna. In a little loud voice, on hearing God's holy name, a gentle smile appeared on the girl's face. Seeing this, Manamohan said, I wish there is no trouble, right, oh dear? Ekhon to kono koshto nei ma? So set forth on your journey. Thakur is with you, fear not. The girl died peacefully. Coming out to the outer room, he said, Manik beche galo. It literally Bengali means that Manik has escaped the jaws of death. So I skipped many things that I desired to say, but thing is, when you serve anything, the story was about the most critical moment of an human being can face. Na? Daughter is living. And for a father-daughter, special relationship always. So, how a devotee can face that kind of thing, only thinking that everything is belong to God. So it is not human being. We are fortunate. Many in Viveka Chudamani, many places, they are praising this human birth. You never know what you got. So it's just reminding ourselves what we have got and what we can do. So with that prayer, let me conclude this lecture. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet, durjanah sajjano bhuyat, sajjanah shanti napnuat, shantamucchet bandhebhyo, muktaschyanyad vimochayet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.